I want you to think about something for a moment. Think about the last time you felt truly alive, not just breathing, not just existing, but actually alive, where your body felt strong, your mind felt clear, and you had energy left over at the end of the day for the people you loved. Most people reading this cannot remember the last time they felt that way, and that is the tragedy I have spent my entire life trying to prevent. My name is Dr. Marcus Chen. I am 99 years old, and I have spent the last 52 years studying why some people live long, vibrant lives, while others spend their final decades trapped in bodies that no longer work. I was not always interested in this. When I was young, I thought aging was inevitable. You got old, you got sick, you died. That was just what happened. I watched my mother slowly disappear into dementia starting at 68. I watched her lose her independence, her dignity, her sense of self. By the time she was 80, she did not recognize me anymore. She spent the last 12 years of her life in facilities, in hospitals, in pain. She died at 92, but she had been dying for a very long time before that. Watching her fade away like that changes you. It makes you ask questions you cannot stop asking. Was this inevitable? Or did we do this to her? I was 42 years old when my mother entered the first of several nursing homes. I was at the peak of my career as a biochemist, but I could not focus on my research. I kept thinking about her sitting in that chair, staring out a window, no longer herself. I started reading everything I could find about aging and disease. I read the journals, I read the case studies. I looked at the data from populations around the world that lived past 100, with their minds intact and their bodies still functional. And slowly, a picture emerged. A very clear picture. And it was not what the medical establishment was telling people. What I discovered was that most of the diseases we associate with aging are not actually caused by aging. They are caused by how we live. They are caused by choices. They are preventable. They are reversible. This was revolutionary to me because it meant that what happened to my mother did not have to happen to anyone else. It meant that the decline, the loss of self, the years spent sick and dependent, these things were not fate. They were the result of accumulated decisions, most of them made without any real understanding of what those decisions would cost. So I dedicated the next 5 decades to understanding exactly what those decisions were. I studied the longest-lived populations on Earth. I analyzed the data from tens of thousands of people. I published research. I taught medical students and doctoral candidates who went on to publish their own research. I watched the evidence accumulate until it became undeniable. We know how to live long. We have known for decades. The problem is not the science. The problem is that nobody wants to hear it because it is not convenient and it does not make anyone rich. I am 99 now. My mother died at 92, trapped in a body and mind that had abandoned her. I have lived 7 years longer than she did, but more importantly, I have lived them fully. I walk 3 miles every morning. I still read the research journals. I still think clearly. I still remember my life. I still feel useful. And I want to tell you exactly what the science says about how to do the same thing, because you are making decisions right now that will determine whether you spend your 80s thriving or whether you spend them the way my mother spent her 70s and 80s, which is to say, barely present at all. There are 8 things that matter, only 8. Everything else is noise. Listen to these carefully because this is not opinion. This is what the data shows when you remove all the marketing and all the lies and all the money that the food industry and pharmaceutical industry have spent trying to confuse us. The first thing is sleep. And I know this sounds simple, but almost nobody does it right. Your body does not repair itself while you are awake. Your brain does not consolidate memories while you are awake. The cellular cleanup that prevents disease happens when you sleep. Deep sleep, real sleep, not the fractured, interrupted sleep that most modern people get because they are staring at screens until midnight and then wondering why they feel like death every morning. The longest-lived people in the world sleep 7 to 9 hours every night. Not most nights, every night. They also wake up at roughly the same time every day, even on weekends, because your body is not designed to live on a random schedule. Your circadian rhythm is older than your species. It evolved over millions of years, and you cannot fool it by sleeping 5 hours on Tuesday and 10 hours on Saturday. That is not how biology works. What I did at 42 was stop treating sleep like a luxury. I stopped staying up late to work. I stopped bringing my research home. I made a commitment that I would sleep 8 hours every single night, no matter what. That was 57 years ago. I have missed that 8 hours maybe 12 times in my entire life since then. 12 times in 57 years. And I have never felt better. The second thing is movement, not exercise. Movement. This is important because exercise is what the fitness industry sells you, and it is a lie. Real movement is what humans evolved doing. It is walking. It is working in a garden. It is climbing stairs. It is carrying things. It is playing with children. It is dancing. It is the kind of activity that does not feel like work because it is integrated into your actual life. When I wake up, I walk 3 miles, not on a treadmill, outside, on real ground, through my neighborhood. I see people. I notice seasons changing. My body moves through space the way bodies are designed to move. The research on this is very clear. People who move consistently throughout the day live longer than people who exercise intensely for 1 hour and sit the rest of the time. Your body needs constant low-level movement. It is not about getting your heart rate up. It is about never letting your body forget that it is supposed to move. At 99, I can still walk 3 miles without stopping. I can still climb stairs. I can still reach the top shelf in my kitchen cabinet. I can still pick up my great-grandchildren and hold them without my back screaming in protest. That is what movement does. It preserves function. It preserves independence. It preserves dignity. The third thing is what you eat, and this is where the real lies begin. You have been told that some foods are good and some are bad and that you need to find the right balance. That is not what the data shows. The data shows that populations that live the longest eat almost exclusively plants. Not entirely, but almost. They eat vegetables, they eat legumes, they eat whole grains, they eat nuts, they eat seeds, they eat fruit, they eat very little meat, maybe once or twice per month, not per week, per month. I changed my diet completely at 42. I was eating the way my parents had taught me to eat. Meat at every meal, butter on everything, eggs every morning, cheese, cream, processed foods. Within a year of changing to a plant-based diet, my cholesterol dropped from 240 to 130, my blood pressure normalized, I lost weight without trying to lose weight, my energy increased, my digestion improved, my skin cleared up. It was like I had been slowly poisoning myself, and then I stopped. Now, I am not telling you that you need to become a monk and eat nothing but rice and vegetables. I am telling you what the data shows. The longest-lived populations on Earth eat mostly plants. That is the dominant pattern. It shows up in every study. It shows up in every blue zone. It shows up when you look at the populations that have the lowest rates of heart disease and cancer and dementia. They eat mostly plants. If you eat meat, fine, eat meat. But make it a side dish. Make it occasional. Make it a flavor, not the foundation of your meal. The fourth thing is portion size. There is a concept from Okinawa called harachi-bu. It means stop eating when you are 80% full. Most modern people eat until they are 110% full. They eat until they are uncomfortable. They eat until they are overstuffed. This is a relatively new behavior in human history. For thousands of years, people did not have constant access to food. They ate when food was available. They ate what they needed. They stopped when they had enough. And their bodies were designed around that pattern. What happens when you consistently eat less than you want, but more than you need, is that your cells shift into repair mode instead of growth mode. Inflammation decreases. Your cardiovascular system does not have to work as hard. Your digestive system gets a break. Your cells actually start to repair themselves instead of constantly scrambling to digest excess food. This is called caloric restriction, and it is one of the most robustly supported interventions for longevity in all of biology. Every organism studied, from yeast to worms to mice to primates, lives longer on caloric restriction. You do not need to count calories. You do not need to weigh your food. You just need to pay attention to when you are no longer hungry and stop eating a few bites before that point. You need to eat your largest meal in the middle of the day when your digestion is strongest. You need to eat a smaller meal in the evening. And then you need to stop eating for the night. That is how human bodies evolved to eat. The constant grazing that modern food culture encourages, the snacking, the eating between meals, the eating while watching screens. This is not how we are designed to eat. It is destroying your metabolism. The fifth thing is stress. And this is the one that almost everyone gets wrong. People think that stress is something that happens to you. A bad job, a difficult relationship, financial pressure, traffic. These things are stressful, yes. But the stress itself is not the problem. The problem is chronic stress with no recovery. Your body is designed to have stress followed by periods of calm. Stress, recovery. Stress, recovery. What modern life creates is stress with no recovery. You wake up stressed. You check your phone and get more stressed. You go to work and get stressed. You come home and get stressed about things happening on the other side of the world that have nothing to do with you. You go to bed stressed, and you do it again the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Your nervous system cannot handle this. Your cortisol levels stay elevated all the time. Your immune system becomes suppressed. Your inflammation increases. Your heart suffers. Your brain suffers. You age faster. At 42, I was chronically stressed. I was competing in my career. I was trying to prove myself. I was racing. Everything was urgent. Everything mattered tremendously, and my body was suffering for it. I had high blood pressure. I had digestive problems. I could not sleep well. I got sick frequently. And then I made a decision that changed my life. I decided that I was going to stop racing. I was going to stop competing. I was going to do my work, but I was not going to let my work define me or consume me. I was going to protect time for the things that actually matter. I was going to walk in nature. I was going to read books that had nothing to do with my research. I was going to spend time with people I loved without my phone. I was going to meditate. And I was going to do these things not because I was trying to be healthy. I was going to do them because they made me feel like myself. The sixth thing is connection. Human beings are not designed to be isolated. We evolved in small groups where everyone knew everyone else. We are tribal creatures. Loneliness is not just sad. Loneliness is dangerous. It increases your risk of heart disease. It increases your risk of stroke. It increases your risk of dementia. It accelerates aging. People who are lonely die younger. This is not metaphor. This is epidemiology. At 42, I had acquaintances, but I did not have real friends. I had colleagues, but I did not have community. I was focused on my work, and I had let my relationships atrophy. I made a decision to change that. I started a walking group. I had people over for dinner. I became involved in my community. And more importantly, I deepened my relationship with my wife. We decided that we would do things together. We would walk together every morning. We would cook together. We would read together. We would travel together. We would be genuinely present with each other, not just coexisting in the same house. My wife and I were together for 58 years. She died 4 years ago at 94. And when she died, I understood in a way that no research paper could have taught me why connection matters so much. She was my person. She knew me completely. She challenged me and supported me. We grew old together, and because I had prioritized that relationship, I had 58 years of not being alone. That is what longevity is really about. It is not about living the longest. It is about having people around you who you love and who love you. The seventh thing is learning. Your brain is designed to learn. It is designed to grow. It is designed to be challenged. If you stop learning, your brain starts to atrophy. Dementia is not inevitable. Cognitive decline is not inevitable. Many of the people who experience severe cognitive decline in old age spent their later years in cognitive stagnation. They retired from their work and they stopped learning. They stopped reading. They stopped thinking deeply about things. They stopped challenging themselves intellectually. And their brains responded by slowly shutting down. I am 99 years old and I still read the research journals every morning. I still learn new things. I still have students who contact me for advice. I still write. I still think deeply about problems. And my mind is still sharp. It is not sharp because I am genetically gifted. It is sharp because I use it. Your brain is a muscle. If you use it, it stays strong. If you do not use it, it atrophies. It is that simple. The eighth and final thing is purpose. The Okinawans have a word for this. Ikigai. It means a reason to get up in the morning. Studies consistently show that people who feel their lives have meaning live longer than people who do not. This is not about career success. This is not about money or status. This is about feeling that what you do matters, that you are contributing something, that your days have meaning. When I retired from teaching, I could have stopped. I could have decided that I had done my work and now I was going to rest. But I did not feel that way. I still feel like there is work to do. There are students to mentor. There is research to follow. There are people to help understand what the science actually shows about how to live long and well. That is my purpose. That is why I wake up. That is why at 99, I still have energy and motivation. So there they are. 8 things. Sleep enough. Move every day. Eat mostly plants. Eat in moderation. Manage your stress. Stay connected to people you love. Keep learning. Have a reason to get up in the morning. This is not complicated. This does not require expensive supplements or secret knowledge or miracle cures. This is what the science has been telling us for 50 years. My mother did not know these things. She lived the way everyone around her lived. She ate what everyone ate. She stressed the way everyone stressed. She did not prioritize sleep or movement or connection, and she paid the price. She spent the last 15 years of her life slowly fading away, losing herself piece by piece. But you have information that she did not have. You have the ability to understand what the research shows. You have the ability to make different choices. The question is whether you will. I am 99 years old. I have lived 17 years longer than my mother, but more importantly, I have lived those years fully. I am still here, still sharp, still useful, still myself. That is what I want for you, not immortality, just all the years you are actually owed, all the years that bad information and bad habits are stealing from you right now. While you still have time to change, make the changes. Not tomorrow, not next month, not when things settle down. Today, your future self will thank you for it.